and the Big Hit was okay. I don't like it like you do.
Apparently not.
57, it's still okay. Wesley Snipes was the man, so I think I'm going to have to disagree and go with Passenger 57 on that one.
So that leaves it to you, Garrett. Oh, this is the best. Like Garrett doesn't
got to comb the beard.
I hate being.
You got to be the deciding factor.
I hate being the
here.
guy. I hate it.
You got the movie with the socially anxious hitman versus the badass Passenger 57.
It's a big hit for me.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
it's definitely a big hit for me. Yeah, I think that the comedy aspect of it is just so much better.
Oh yeah, like it's an action movie with those comedic elements, and like even like the twists and turns of the plot. Like even if you took the comedic elements out of that movie, like it would be a good like action kind of like thriller movie just because of the way it's done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me guess, Z-Gun.
All right, so then up next, we have The Specialist versus Another 48 Hours. Okay.
Why don't you go first this time, Garrett, so you don't get stuck with
No, I'm all right. I'm all right. Do you have anything for these, Travis?
I do.
All right, what do we got?
I actually looked at The Specialist as a DVD that I own, and I watch it over and over again. I love that movie.
What about it?
So
makes you watch it over and over again.
I just look at it, and you've got like enticing woman, and this guy's a bomb expert. Then she gets involved, and then they want to destroy the mafia, of course, that killed her family. And Stallone just plays an awesome job in that. He's like stone cold on this whole situation, bombs everywhere. And then we've got Another 48 Hours. And I look at that one, and I see, you're just recruiting an ex-con, It's like, it was Eddie Murphy, Nick Nolte, and, it's just like, they had a great on-screen presence together, but just didn't feel the movie, so I got to go with The Specialist on this one.
So I'm going to agree with Travis. Like, to me, Another 48 Hours is not as good as 48 Hours.
Really?
Yes. And
I kind of happen to like Another 48 Hours a little bit better than 48 Hours.
Yeah, like
because it calls back to everything in the first one. You know what I mean? It's like, so you're watching it, and then there's all these aspects from the first one that weren't totally like
completely
all set, and then you find out that like the bad guy like the whole time was this cop that was in the first one.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, I like that. As there's just these other aspects. I like the bad guys a little bit better.
Part of the reason that I like the first one better is you can't watch Another 48 Hours without watching 48 Hours. Like if you watch it on its own, like there's a lot that you either won't understand or beats that you're missing because you haven't seen the first one. Mm-hmm. Where again, like The Specialist, like especially during this time frame, you had a span of about 10 years where Stallone just came out with these one-shot action movies where he just killed it. And like this is one of them. He's not. He hasn't hit massive size Stallone where he's just this massive guy. He's still jacked, but he's almost got that slender like the Demolition Man body type. And like I'd have to go with The Specialist.
This Assassins. Yeah, I'm still gonna go Specialist over Another 48 Hours. So that's all three right there. Right. But yeah, if you were to take Another 48 and 48 together, me personally, that's that. But against The Specialist, no, Specialist. I literally only have one problem with that entire movie, and that's at the very end, all of a sudden the end song is "Turn the Beat Around" by Gloria Estefan. Like it makes no sense. The music in the rest of the movie it's perfect. It's all suspenseful. It's all the right way, and all of a sudden this badass action movie is over, and all of a sudden "Turn the Beat Around" comes on, and I'm like, whose decision was that? That's weird.
That was Sly's.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure that was his decision. So then we're going to take it down to Point of No Return versus Split Second. Now, Point of No Return was the American version of Luc Besson's La Femme Nikita.
Right.
And Luc is you're a big movie person. You should know that he's like pretty much the best action director out of France.
Yes.
He makes killer. So many of his movies have been remade in America. It's ridiculous. And I don't know if any of them are like better. You know, because there's no way that Brick Mansions is better than District B13. You know, it's just not.
Right.
You know, it's good. It's just it's not as good. So, Point of No Return was still excellent. I mean, you know, but for me personally, I love Split Second. Now, it could have ended up on the Sci-Fi one, but then again, Sci-Fi, you know, like I only have so much space for all these listening. It's all, you know. But it's great the way he hunts the beasts, you know, through the sewers, all the stuff. But one of my favorite things is the British guy who is going along with him, who then who's skeptic at first and then gets like momentarily kidnapped by the thing and kind of goes crazy for a minute and then becomes badass.
Right.
Like that's one of my I love Split Second. I love this movie. So for me, it's Split Second over Point of No Return.
Like, I'll be honest, neither one of these movies are cracking any of my top movie lists. And
Fair.
like Split Second, you know, Split Second's good, but I think a Point of No Return is just a little bit better than it. And I know that property itself has been adapted. Like there was the 90's TV series. There was the
Found Nikita. Then there was Nikita with what's her name? Oh my God, I can't think of her name.
She was in that one Die Hard movie.
Yeah.
I forget her.
I don't know why I can't think of it.
Yeah, but
Maggie Q.
Yes, Maggie. That exactly.
That's what it was.
I would just have to go Point of No Return. Like it just.
All right, I'm gonna cue in here. So, like, I've only ever seen each one of these movies once, and I'll probably never watch them again. They just weren't like there, either one of them for me. I have to give the edge to the Point of No Return.
Oh,
yeah,
lost.
That's all right. You know, just based on the action sequences and you know a little bit more plot, and the other one leans more towards sci-fi, like you said. So. You know, I don't think you're going to see either one of these movies move past this round.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes, a lot of times, you'll be talking and like it'll be like we'll be having a hard time deciding, and it's like, does it really matter with who it's going up against?
Right.
And it's like, it might not, but this is the genius of the show is you get to talk about each of these movies get their shine for a minute that we get to talk about instead of, you know, hey, let's talk about these movies and we're just sitting around just talking movies.
Right.
And there's no point. So now we got two, action, slash comedies as well. Were with Bulletproof and Metro. Now, I think Bulletproof threw a lot of people off because it came out when Sandler was coming out with all the super comedies.
Right.
You know, he dropped Billy Madison, he dropped Happy Gilmore, and then this movie like came out with Damon Wayans, and like they were really funny with each other, but the problem was like I think everyone just thought, "Oh my God, it's Damon Wayans." And Adam Sandler, this is going to be the funniest movie ever, and it wasn't.
No, it's
you know
not.
What I mean?
It's not meant to be.
It's not like they're funny with each other. Like the whole aspect of you shot me in the head. Right. You know what I mean? Like is replayed over and over through it's called Bulletproof. But so I think it gets a bad rap because people thought it was going to be another like super comedy.
Well, you got to think too.
It was an action movie. It was an action.
Yes, action.
A cop in it's like 48 hours
or Lethal Weapon,
you know what I mean? We're like you're cop and you're con, and it's like
what I think the reason like you said is that this was years and years before Sandler comes on like, hey, this isn't me doing comedy, this is me doing a more serious role.
Yeah.
And at that time in his career, he didn't really have the experience to like make sure, hey guys, this isn't like a Happy Madison production. Like this, this is me trying to do something else. So like you said, people assumed it would be one way, and I love Bulletproof personally. I think it's great, and I am actually going to put it over Metro.
I would put it over Metro as well. Metro was good, but I feel like they were like after his Beverly Hills Cop run, and then like Vampire in Brooklyn. Then it was just like he was still trying to like find the comedy action stuff before he transitioned more then into the family comedy.
The Nutty Professor.
Yeah, and all that stuff. And this was like that last swing for like the action comedy.
I felt like it was like kind of almost like a cash in his name. Like the plot's decent, like Eddie's good in it, but like it's not something that. Like, you'll never find me go sit down and be like, you know what? Today I want to watch Metro.
Yeah.
You know, like that's
like
never
I have it on DVD, but like and I remember a lot of it. I just it's
just
not going over Bulletproof. What do you think?
If Metro was forgettable.
Yeah,
I agree with Bulletproof.
What were we talking about?
Yeah.
What was that movie? No, it's terrible. I like that. The guy who played the bad guy in it was the same bad guy from The Crow.
Right.
Like he's an excellent bad guy in whatever he was one of those underrated like 90 major in the 90s actors.
Absolutely.
Where it's just like we could almost do we could probably do a whole list like this of underrated actors. that would actually probably be a lot of fun.
And Garrett's one of them.
Yeah. Hey, dude.
Shh.
Really?
Hands above the belt.
That was a deep cut right there.
Children should be seen and not heard.
I will.
And you shouldn't be either.
I will mute your mic. All right.
I'm the voice of this group.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, get a little mouthy. Okay. All right. All right. So listen. Let's get back. We don't get off rails again. We got Surviving the Game up against Hard to Kill. Trav, I know where you're going with this.
Oh my
man.
God, yeah.
I know where you're going with this. Okay. And I don't even blame you.
So Surviving the Game was awesome. You take Ice-T out and you bring him to a country club and you make him feel like one of the guys, and then you say, run and for your life.
And you know what was great is this movie is packed with stars.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
All-star
it was
cast.
one of those straight to HBO 90s movies.
It was too. And it was one of the ones they played all.
They played it all the time, which is why I think it's ingrained in my movie DNA.
Right.
Is because like it hit me then, but you got John C. McGinley, who was in like one of his main things was Dr. Cox and Scrubs. If
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, but I mean. Rucker Hauer's in it. Like even like the kid in it did a ton of work. Like everyone in this movie was actually a big name at one point or another. You know what I mean? Like they're all big people, and it was such a good movie. I'm sorry, like
I
it's
loved it.
great.
Like I'd watch that one over and over again. However,
then again,
now you look
Hard
at
to Kill is the epitome of Steven Spielberg. Besides Under Siege, like Hard to Kill is like your go-to Steven Seagal movie.
Under Siege, Hard to Kill, and Out for Justice are his top three movies. Period.
Yes, and
I did like Mark for Death too.
Mark for Death was also good. Yes,
On Deadly Ground was great. Yeah, those ones were good too. Don't forget.
He had like his 5-6 year span where he just like cranked them out.
His movies also. Okay, well, while not being better than a lot of other like it's like you have like him and Van Damme and Stallone,
Yeah.
His movies have the coolest names.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Which may not be necessarily to do with him. Maybe it did. I don't know. But Steven Seagal's movies, like if you were to take like okay, these are all the names of all it's like. His are just cooler.
Yeah,
they're just cooler.
When he first came out, you'd never seen anything like this guy. Like his story is totally unbelievable.
Oh, dude, like it's...
trains in Japan, comes back over here. The only white guy that owns a dojo in Japan,
trying to pass off like he's Native American.
No, just unbelievable. Like everything about the guy is just like smoke and mirrors, just like his movies.
Right.
He's untouchable.
So Above the Law,
yeah,
Hard to Kill, Mark for Death,
Glimmerman,
Out for Justice,
yeah,
Under Siege, On Deadly Ground, Under Siege 2, Dark Territory, Executive Decision, The Glimmerman, Fire Down Below. Now
that one was actually good, yeah,
because like that was the first time. Like I was like, it's like the first 20 minutes of the movie, and Seagal dies, and I was like,
what happened?
Did that just happen?
Yeah.
What? And that was the first time in like when G.I. Joe 2 came out.
Yeah.
And
when they killed
Channing Tatum died, they literally referenced the guy who directed it referenced executive decision as that side. No, I like sometimes you have to kill off a very a very big name right in the beginning.
Well, like look, Scream. Drew Barrymore was originally supposed to play the Sidney Prescott role in Scream, and then she had scheduling conflicts, but she still wanted to be in it. People forget originally, like the press and everything for Scream, Drew Barrymore was the main person.
Yeah,
because Neve Campbell was a nobody.
She was the biggest person on that poster.
Right.
Yeah.
And then in the first 10 minutes, like first time she gets killed, and everybody was like, what? Yeah. Like,
I started watching the last because it came up on Paramount Plus.
Yeah,
Thank you again. By the way,
I get to watch
because I didn't get to. So now I'm about I think a quarter of the way through.
Another shocking movie there when Leonardo DiCaprio, the elevator opens and
exactly.
Oh yeah,
you follow this guy for 2 hours and now he's gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But like when I look at those two movies and I gotta pit them together, Hard to Kill without a doubt.
I'm with you.
Yeah, it's one of the better. Seagal. If there was other ones here,
isn't that the one where like he trains himself back and like he's doing acupuncture on himself and
I think that might be Marked for Death.
No. That's Hard to Kill.
Is it Hard to Kill? I don't
see. He comes out of the hospital and he's running up the mountain. He only gets so far.
Like we probably could have done a 90s bracket of just Steven Seagal movies.
That's a good idea, yeah.
Or just Steven Seagal, period.
Well, yeah. But like after Fire Down Below,
he just petered out.
It's My Giant, The Patriot, Prince of Central Park. But then we got classics like Exit Wounds, Half Past Dead.
Yeah. Well, I think he just had a falling out with the industry. They just kind of like got onto him, and 90s
well, I mean, everyone.
I mean,
at one point, Stallone fizzled out before he made his ultimate comeback.
Yeah.
But like he went from being that action star to then he became a parody of it because all those movies are fundamentally very similar.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't think all the SNL skits about him help.
No, not at all.
You know what I mean? They just made the joke that was already happening made it worse. You know what I mean? And it was like the joke. So then we got one of my favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, Double Impact versus
Double Team
versus what you call it? Bruce Willis's Last Man Standing. Okay, now Last Man Standing is the kind of like the gangsterish film. You know, they meet in like the kind of western town, and big shootouts. All this stuff like that. And then Double Impact is
better.
He plays twins.
It's better. Double Impact.
It's this and Time Cop are my two ultimate favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme.
So as a kid, this is the first Jean-Claude Van Damme movie I can remember watching at my cousin's house because I remember my cousins they would rent the movies, and they had the double VCR where you could record it. So, like, they would go around, and, so they had I remember drawers upon, that was the first place I seen stuff like Terminator 2. Like, they just had everything. Yeah. And I remember, this is the first time I remember seeing Jean-Claude Van Damme. So, the next time I saw a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, so mind you, I'm like 7, 8.
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so which brother is this? I thought he was. I thought they were ninja twins. That's what I thought they were.
Yeah.
And then in Red,
we were little when that came out.
You
weren't even born.
You didn't even win the race out of your dad's nutsack yet.
At least I'm the better looking one in the family.
So
it's Double Impact for me. It's just you have those movies from your childhood that you remember the first time you seen it. I remember the first time I saw Double Impact.
I mean, it's there's a lot of aspects to why I think that Double Impact is better. Yeah, he plays the twins. The double exposure, the doing the shots look fairly convincing.
Oh, especially for that time. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I look at it like this, and you put these two together, and you say, what's better than one Jean-Claude Van Damme in a movie?
Yeah, two.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, he did really, really good at playing those two completely different personalities.
Yeah, he did a really good job at flipping
the one
the script
that was very nice and proper.
And then the other one was the dark, gritty,
and then the one that's a dick.
Yeah,
he did really good.
Yeah, he did. He wasn't acting. He wasn't acting.
Yeah, it's true. So it was for me. It's that I do like Last Man Standing. It's one of those Bruce
not
Willis
bad.
movies I saw actually later on.
Yes.
In life, because I never saw it when I was younger, and I had to actually hunt it down. Like I found it on DVD, then I bought it and then watched it. You know what I mean?
Garrett on a mission to find a DVD. No one will get in his way.
I think Double. That movie was in the theaters. Because he was still pretty popular. I remember going to the theater to
Double
see that.
Because I mean this was
before straight to DVD.
Yeah,
I was just saying this was early. Yeah. This was early.
Yeah, this was after
Van Damme,
Kickboxer,
Yes.
and what's the other one? Bloodsport.
Bloodsport. Yeah.
So that it was after those two. So his popularity was, and then he did did a movie where he played two, and that was pretty good. And then he did Time Cop.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like. Yeah, it was.
Which one was he? Chance Bordeaux with a mullet, the flowing mullet. Hard Target.
Was that Hard Target? Yeah, I think that was Hard Target.
Hard Target. Yeah.
Yeah. Hard Target or Nowhere to Run.
Yeah. God, I don't know. I can't remember. There's so many Van Damme movies.
Yeah, there's a lot. He's another one who has a lot of cool. They have a lot of cool names. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you could probably if you didn't, you could probably do like a game show thing. Is like, is this a Steven Seagal movie or is this a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie?
Which one sounds cool?
Yeah. Like, oh man, I don't know. Like, that'd probably be really good. Okay, so
Next.
then we have The Last Boy Scout versus No Escape. Now,
Last
Last
Boy Scout. Like
first off, it's Last Boy Scout.
Yeah.
The opening scene to this movie, I remember the first time I see it, and it stays ingrained in my head. And that you start off with that football game, and that dude running, and this guy's about to tackle him, and he's just like, boom! And I just remember, again, I was young. I was like, I don't think that's how you play football, but I'm gonna sit back here and I'm gonna watch this movie. Like,
that's not how you juke a tackle.
No.
That's one way to stop him. But this movie is just.
It's awesome.
Awesome.
I feel like it's super underrated because I feel like when people talk about Bruce Willis movies and action and like other ones, it's like they don't really talk about The Last Boy Scout a whole lot. And I'm like, this movie was great.
This was the one movie that you should be referencing.
Yeah, if you're not talking about Die Hard, this is the other movie.
But like the thing is, this movie, you change his character's name to John McClane. This could have very easily been a Die Hard movie.
It could have been
like the plot. Lynn, I think that's part of the reason why I like it, because like it very easily could have been a Die Hard sequel. Like the way it flows, his character and it is even like that beat down cop, like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like when he goes to pick up the cigarette, the smoking cigarette that's like this much of it left, he looks, he's like, so I'm a lowlife. You know what I mean? Like, it's so great. Like and Damon Wayans is in it.
Dude, it's such a good movie.
It's wicked.
So I take it we're not even going to mention like No Escape.
Well, no.
Mention what?
I want to give No Escape its shine because No Escape was awesome. You know, like Ray Liotta and like a sci-fi-ish action. It's in the future, but then like every prisoner in the world literally just gets sent to this island, which
Arkham City.
Make a new one.
So like
there's been a couple different
there's a lot of different
versions.
Types of movies.
It's like battle royale movies. There's a bunch of them out there. You just gotta pick one you like.
But it's it's dramatic. There's a lot of it's like how am I getting off the island? You can't get off the island. It's an island. You know what I mean? Like, and we're in the middle of nowhere. So it's a really cool movie. And,
it ain't the Last Boy Scout
about it, but it's not the Last Boy Scout.
Awesome.
It's like so then we got Showdown in Little Tokyo against Falling Down. Now Falling Down is a little more like the suspense thriller action one, but again, other ones fill up and there's a decent amount of action, in it, to fill it out. But then if you're gonna put it up as an action movie against Showdown in Little Tokyo, is it going to win that?
Yeah, like
because is it a better movie?
Haven't we all had days where we're falling down?
Yeah,
though? You just like get to the point where you're just like, I can understand
on a social
this guy,
commentary.
I can relate to that,
right? Because then at the same time, what's really great is what's great about it is you see him fly off the handle. You see him go off the rails, and you see why. Everything that turns, you understand why. But then at the end, everything he did throughout the movie, and then he's talking with the cop at the end, and he's like, "Oh, come on, I'm the bad guy? You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, kind of. Because you can't go off the rails the way you did, you know, and it's a very, it's very big on so it could even be extremely relevant to today.
Oh, absolutely.
About how people, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you're fed up and you start maybe you start off on the right foot, but you ended on the wrong.
Right.
You know, so yeah.
The way I look at Showdown Little Tokyo, it's you got Ivan Drago and the Crow. Like, I mean, like the recipes there. That's like making like a pizza taco. Like, it kind of sounds weird, but it works really, really well. Like,
and there's a lot of funny aspects to this movie too. One is Brandon is actually really funny. And he's the funnier one in the movie.
Absolutely.
And even though he's half Asian, he's from California and knows nothing about Asian culture, doesn't know karate, and Dolph Lundgren lived in Japan in the movie and does all the samurai stuff, and that's like the
which
dynamic.
Honestly it's very amusing for me watching him do that shit. Yeah, because like physically he's funny. Not built to move like that.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, so I think that was one of the main things that they wanted to do. Is like, we have to get these two guys,
right?
And this has to be the plot,
right?
Because it's going to be really funny and cool, and
it was. So
yeah,
I'm going for Showdown.
Yeah.
As far as since it's in the action movie, I would say like if you're going to look at it like.
It's far less serious and it's more like, action-packed.
If it was on a different list, you know, Falling Down was in something else, it probably would be other stuff, but this is a 90s action list. Showdown Little Tokyo is going ahead.
Perfect.
Okay, so now we're going up to the Big Hit versus Point Break.
Okay, now I ranted and raved about the Big Hit last time, okay?
Oh, my God.
But I have to say is Johnny Utah, man, like
dude, Point Break is such a good movie.
It's the perfect movie.
And like Point Breek was the basis for the Fast and the Furious movies.
Oh,
like
absolutely.
you don't
have wrong with this movie.
Like Keanu, like this is like Keanu is like spot
everyone.
And then
everyone
like
it's just movie.
Everyone. Point Break. Like
Patrick Swayze, Gary Busey, John C. McGinley.
Yeah.
Everyone in this movie is
like,
perfect.
It really is. Like,
you know,
I really think he keeps on saying John Cena. I'm like, bro,
no, it's John C. McGinley.
He said no. Like whenever I don't hear the last part, I just hear John Cena.
He could have been in the movie. It's not like you would have seen him.
Yeah, you can't see him anyways.
I was gonna say
like, you can't see me on the camera.
Yeah. That's a joke I was gonna make. It's like it doesn't matter what you hear because nobody can see you anyway.
You see him.
Like you can't see me. I'm like John Cena in the damn group.
Yeah. All right, so I don't think we even need to discuss Point Break.
But we do have like, you know, I love the end of that movie.
It's
like,
so good.
You know, when he just realized
for
like,
a while you think about
you know,
and
like does he drown in that wave and die in the ocean, or does he live out the rest of his days? Like I was so surprised we never got a sequel to that movie.
Yeah. Like, you know, I mean,
but then we get the shitty remake.
Even the director said, is like, the wave crashed down on him. He died. You know what I mean? But like,
in the back of our minds, we always say,
but did he?
Yeah.
Because he's Patrick Swayze. You know what I mean? Like, he's pretty badass. You know what I me But don't even say it. No. Don't.
Yeah, but
don't
that was just
start.
such a good movie.
Right.
Southern California, culture, everything about it.
So yeah, it's just, I mean, it really is. It's even the rest of the presidents, they're so well cast.
That's where it was like they were wearing the mask of the presidents, and everyone was like after that starting to rob banks. Wearing those masks.
Yeah.
Now it's just COVID masks. They were wearing banks.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, that obviously was going to move on real fast. And then we got The Specialist versus Face Off.
Obviously, it's Face Off.
See, Face Off, so I thought they did an extremely good job at playing each other.
Oh my God!
So they spent what was smart is they spent a lot of time in the beginning of the movie before the switch happens.
Establishing their
It's not just like 5 minutes. It's like it's this long drawn out.
It's the first 45 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, where you really get to see how they act they become each other.
I just like the plot where like they switch the face so he can go undercover, and then the guy whose face that they take off comes too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And like the thing
Like it's so outrageous, and yet you're like,
oh yeah,
no.
I get
it's too awesome to just like not let happen.
See,
so
and like
let's go with
the
it.
thing with Face Off 2, I feel like this was the movie where Nicolas Cage was the most, like the highest level of Nick Cage before he was too much Nick Cage.
Right.
Yeah.
If that sentence makes any sense
No,
to
it
anybody.
makes perfect sense. Have you heard about Nick Cage's new movie
Oh, yes.
that's coming out? Have you heard about
Nick
it?
Cage.
Playing Nick Cage.
Playing Nick Cage.
Yeah, where he's. Have you heard about it?
I haven't heard the plot.
Okay, so he plays like himself, and like he needs money, which he needs. So he goes to like this like billionaire's island, and but the FBI or something like
He has to steal
intercepts him, and he has to like go on this undercover mission like while he's there, like, just
Nick
as
Cage.
himself, right? And but it's not even all that. It's the title of the movie.
Yeah.
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. It's the greatest title
Ever.
God.
It actually sounds like a Limp Bizkit album title.
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I love it. So I have to go see it. Anyways, we're talking about this.
This movie is just like when you think of 90 action movies, like this movie is immediately one of the movies somebody is calling off. Like it's just they do so good playing each other. They do so good playing themselves. Travolta, this was one of my favorite Travolta movies. Like he crushes it.
He crushes it.
He really, and then Cage just crushes it, and it just
like in Broken Arrow.
yes,
He just
100%.
Broken Arrow.
And Grease.
Oh, and just so yeah, no. First off, I love Grease. Okay, I'm just even gonna say I really flat out I love it. I actually let Travis pick which one we were gonna do, and he picked this one because the other one had like too many. That where it was like it was like Broken Arrow and
so many good
and
ones.
True Lies and like all these all like the first
That's
like 12
the movie I
movies.
wanted to see a sequel. True Lies needed a sequel.
I know, right? And it
Still
never got
could.
it.
Still
I think it's in the works, isn't it?
That's what I thought. I thought I read that not too long ago too.
They should have. They should have done another one fairly soon. You know, right before he became governor. You know, like I would have rather seen
Governator.
I would have rather seen True Lies 2 than Collateral Damage.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what.
serve
I
office
just
for
read
8
an
years.
article like 2 days ago that Twins 2 is back on track.
They will never do another
with Danny
Twins.
DeVito?
Yeah, so Twins, they didn't pay Arnold anything or Danny DeVito anything. They got a percentage of the movie. And it was so wildly successful. It's like the highest paycheck they've ever had.
Really?
So they're like, absolutely not. There's no percentage sharing from here on in. Like, they're just not doing it.
Yeah.
That was pretty wild. They're like, hey, here's an awesome script, but we can't afford to pay you. And they're like, I'll do it on a percentage.
Right.
And they're
No,
like, okay, great, let's
I
make it
know.
happen.
I heard Jason Momoa literally. I think he might have tweeted or said it in an interview where he wanted to make a remake of
With him and
Twins
Dinklage.
with Peter Dinklage.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I can take my money.
Yeah.
And we talk about it all the time. Like I will fly off the handle about how I don't want to see remakes of certain things. You
But
know,
I'd see that,
some
yeah.
things can deserve a remake now, and then but a lot of things that do get remade don't need to be touched. Case in point, Point Break. Don't touch it. If you want to make a
That
new
remake was
if you wanted to make a new
horrible.
sequel to it, where the person goes and they find Johnny Utah because they're in a similar situation and like
Fine, but
and
that
find
remake
him,
was
you know what I mean. But the remake was
horrible.
terrible. It was terrible.
No.
And nothing against the actors that were in it.
The
They did a
action
fine
scene, the
job.
action scenes were great. It wasn't Point Break.
It's there's no point.
Like the first Fast and the Furious was way more Point Break than the Point Break remake.
Yeah.
Which
is crazy. You know. So, oh yeah. Anyways, so we got Face Off. Next, we got Point of No Return versus Con Air.
No, Con Air is just a wild movie, isn't it? Like
It is. It's
John Malkovich being the badass.
it's so great and it's so hokey. This is where Nick Cage became two Nick Cage.
Yes, dude,
Put the bunny back in the box. Why couldn't you just put the bunny
back in the box, dude.
You know, first off, again, it's another movie where everyone's great.
I'm gonna read out the cast for this.
Ving Rhames,
the
John Malkovich, but see,
Dave
that's
Chappelle.
That's another thing. It's another movie movie, or that's another person. Like Nick Cage was too Nick Cage, and John Malkovich was way too John Malkovich in this movie. Way too John Malkovich for this movie.
He always had like too many one-liners, you know.
Yeah, he just like the rant he would go on to like show how smart he was. We get it. He's smart.
Yeah.
He's a psycho, but he's smart.
Just think about this. You got
Steve Buscemi.
You got Nick Cage, John Cusack, John Malkovich, Ving Rhames, Steve Buscemi, Danny Trejo, Dave Chappelle, and a bunch of other lower people. But
yeah, it just keeps going.
And it just
the dude from Star Trek was in it.
Yeah, like it's one of those.
Bless you.
Like it's one of those movies. If you're not watching anything in particular, you're flipping through the channels and it's on, you at least stop and watch like 20 minutes of a half hour.
Yeah, it could be on any afternoon. It comes on and you stop scrolling and you just watch
you're
it.
like,
it's just
yeah. Like
even if it's halfway through the movie,
it doesn't matter where it is.
Yeah, because like
we've all seen it 100 times.
Yes.
You just kind of it's comforting.
So I'd have to say Con Air.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be Con Air over.
Absolutely.
So then we're gonna take it down to Die Hard with a Vengeance over Bulletproof.
You already know my answer.
You know what? You know what's weird? I feel like sometimes we get surprised by something that moves along, and maybe it's just this side, maybe it'll be different on the other side. But it's like, so far the seeded ones are.
So like Die Hard with a Vengeance for me is as good as Die Hard. It's like right there. The original might just be a little tiny bit better, but Die Hard with a Vengeance, chemistry.
It takes it back to the first one. It ties in with the first one.
But the chemistry between Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis, and you got to think too. This is before Samuel L. Jackson was Samuel L. Jackson. This was like he's done like New Jack City. He's done Jurassic Park. He really hasn't. He's not who he is like when you say his name now. But their chemistry is so good in it, and like just the whole line when they get into the taxi cab after Samuel L. Jackson saves his life in Harlem, and he's like, "So Jesus, da 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 da," and he's like,
"Why you keep calling me Jesus?
Why you keep calling me Jesus?" He's like, "Well, that's your name. That's what he said." He said Jesus. He goes, "No." He said, "Hey, Zeus. Your name's Zeus." Like the guy, it's just the way they play off each other is so good. And then like one of my favorite John McClane scenes ever is when they're in the water tunnel. And he goes up to the trucker and he does the whole Santa Claus line.
Yeah.
Like it just
it's classic McClane.
Right.
Like he does something and he's just talking himself through it.
And like this movie, I feel like is so much more like the original, where it's just like John McClane is just dog tired. Like in the beginning of the movie, he's hungover as all shit.
Yeah.
Like, and they're like, "Oh, you were suspended, but I guess we're bringing you out of suspended." He's just got done over from a week bender. He's just like, give me some Tylenol and some cigarettes, like, and just the whole entire movie, you could tell, like, he's like, I don't want to do this. Like, he's so John McClane.
Like he's got to run like 12 blocks or something like that with a hangover.
And it's Die Hard with a Vengeance. I love this movie, and so it's McClane for me. It's always McClane for me.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, what else could you say?
Yeah. Sometimes you can't really say anything else about it. And I mean, I like how Die Hard 3 harkens back to
how it ties to Hans and everything, like
to the first one. And it's like, you know, when they're running and he's like, "What's this guy got against you?" He's like, "Well, I threw his brother off a."
And like that reveal,
30-story high rise.
I remember, like that was in probably like 6th grade, and that reveal, I'm like, it's Hans's brother. Oh my god!
Yeah.
You know, and it's good. And I also feel like it was the last Die Hard that had a good double cross, because I think one of the underlying points, whoever directed 4 and 5 really forgot that about the double crosses, because the double crosses in 4 or 5 are weak as shit.
I agree. Like 5,
super. Like
I don't like
double
5
cross
at all.
was literally like someone just came in and just killed the people on the computers. Like
Yep.
that was weak. The other ones are way better.
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3. I mean, I personally, I think 2 had the best one.
With the
The
military.
best double cross with the military. I think that they had the best one. But that's just my opinion. That's just talking about the double cross.
Right.
but still definitely Die Hard 3.
Yeah. What's next?
Okay. Then we got Hard to Kill against Lethal Weapon 4.
Lethal Weapon 4 is like when Jet Li became like this hot new action star.
Yeah.
It was right after the one.
America.
Yeah,
And that was like some stuff that you had never seen before. It was like when Steven Seagal comes out and you haven't seen any of those moves. Then
Right.
Jet Li comes into the scene and you haven't seen any of his moves, and you're just like, wow, what is this?
And what's crazy is like as far as American exposure went to having straight up Asian stars, no matter where they came from, in Japan, China, or anywhere else, it's like you had Jet Li, then you had Jackie Chan,
Right.
and they all brought something different to the table.
100%.
And then and they had still not quite seen anything like Jet Li.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
he had like that rosary thing where you pull it out and choke a guy.
Like
and-
he's so fast. Like he's like it's. I think it's
the
like him
disassembling the gun too.
Yeah.
Like,
See, like the Lethal Weapon series for me is one of like, especially for that time frame. It's a little bit different nowadays, but like in the '90s and early 2000s, I always felt like when a sequel came out, a lot of times it didn't even touch the original.
Yeah,
but the
this
Lethal
was-
Weapon series, I felt all four movies were very, very consistently good, and every sequel like Lethal Weapon 2, they brought on Joe Pesci. You know what I mean? Lethal Weapon 3, Pesci and Russo, and then with Lethal Weapon 4, bringing on Chris Rock and like Jet Li and everything, like they just kept on adding to the ensemble, and it works so well.
Yeah.
And so like I'm very, very excited personally for Lethal Weapon 5 to come out.
Right.
Like to see where it's 20 years later now.
Personally,
Like
I think they should literally be retired.
I'm hoping that's what it is.
And what I really hope that they do is bring back the kid who played Danny Glover's son.
Right.
And at this point, he's a veteran cop, and the rookie is their kid, is Riggs's kid.
Well,
Because
I was
if you
kind of
think
hoping
about it in age,
Right.
it's perfect.
Well, if
It's perfect.
I was thinking more that Chris Rock's character Butters
Butters.
is like now like the chief, and it's,
That's what I mean. Yeah, like he's the chief.
Yeah, like
and then
that's
Danny
what-
Glover's kid can be like the veteran detective.
Right.
And then, but then like something from their from Riggs and Murtaugh's past should come back to get the new Riggs and Murtaugh.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I don't see why that script wouldn't work.
Well,
I can wing out.
maybe Danny Glover's character.
I can wing out concepts all day.
Maybe Danny Glover's character came on some financial hard times and couldn't retire yet.
Oh my God, he's like 80.
Like the first movie, he's like, I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Now it's like 35 years later.
I'm still too old for this shit.
He's way too old for this shit.
But like the final fight scene alone with Danny Glover, Mel Gibson, and Jet Li, like with the water and everything like that, it's awesome. And so
That was a really good fight scene.
and it was very very original. Like it wasn't
Because
just
also like the Murtaugh never really got in on any actual fight scenes.
No,
It was
he
always
never
he
did,
was
yeah.
the shot from far away.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like I think the most physical stuff happened in 1 when he was like getting tortured and
Correct.
punched maybe a couple people, but that was it. But the point was to have Danny Glover there. You had to, because Mel Gibson couldn't take him by himself.
Right.
You know what I mean? So then you had to have the big guy who could actually just grab him, pick him up, and throw him into stuff.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It was an excellent dynamic.
Against Hard to Kill, where does it stand?
Oh, there's no way. There's no way that hard to, like
Lethal Weapon 4 is my vote.
even the best ultimate best heart like Seagal movie. It's not beating.
Better,
Lethal
better
Weapon.
plot, better cast, better everything. But I'm still gonna go with Hard to Kill.
You still gotta go.
Gotta go with Steven
Lethal Weapon
Seagal
for
here.
me.
I'm still going. I gotta go Lethal Weapon 4. Me personally, and I like it when something from the first part of the bracket beats the other ones. But there's no way I can't put Hard to Kill
Above that, yeah.
over. I just can't do it.
No, he was killed.
Now, then we got Double Impact versus Last Action Hero.
Oh man, Last Action Hero.
Same director as Die Hard. And the entire point of this movie
Is
was to make
satire on
fun
action
of
movie.
Hollywood
It was,
while
yeah.
making a badass action movie at the same time.
Like
Like, what was the name of the bad guy? And was he like Slayer or
The Ripper?
The Ripper.
The Ripper.
Yes,
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 the Ripper.
yeah.
Jack, I mean, he was Jack the Ripper. Yeah, he was like a new Jack the Ripper. You know.
Like, dude, like with the eyes, and then like one of my favorite scenes. Like,
Well, he was the Ripper because he was, what's his name was Jack.
right, one of my favorite scenes in it is where they address the whole like the movie 555 phone number thing,
And they're
then
in the store.
and then when they're in the store and it's Stallone as in the Terminator cutout.
Yeah,
and
it's one of his best movies.
right, like,
It's so great.
It's phenomenal. Like you can't. I love Last Action Hero.
Yeah, I got to go with that one too.
So, all right. All right, so yeah, Last Action Hero. Are we all in agreement?
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
So,
Thanks, Billy.
No, what are you gonna do?
I'm doing a show right now.
I don't give a fuck about
But-
the show.
Billy,
Wow.
You double teamed him with that fucking Vermonter granola eating, tree hugging
What?
motherfucker.
His name's Isaac.
He's probably a fucking fan of Bernie Sanders. That fucking rages me on its own. Yeah. You fuck with him again?
Okay. And I will.
No, I don't think so.
what?
What did you say? Say, I will not fuck with him. Say it.
No, I'm not gonna say that. Billy, come on.
Billy, please.
Billy, you got
Billy.
Billy, you gotta go.
I'm asking you as a favor for me, man.
I can't
Please.
even be seeing you, fuck. And I'm going out here because I want to fucking choke you out. Yeah.
Well, maybe you need to go see a therapist and talk about your anger issues. Because right now we're doing a show.
Billy,
If you want to discuss this
Can we just
after the
keep the
show, we
peace?
can discuss it after the show.
Why don't you come over here with this guy?
Well, because I'm in the middle of a show right now, Billy.
See, can you control your guy, please, man? Oh, I'm just trying.
Hey, you guys are fucking punks. I'm got you by 40 years and 50 pounds, and I could still take you. Yeah.
Well, if that's how you feel, I appreciate that feeling. Okay, so I can recommend a therapist for you.
You read my book?
I did. It was great. You're a very talented writer.
I had a problem putting a gun to the back of my head.
No, I don't think you did at all. That doesn't mean I'm afraid of you. Okay, William? So I would
don't
very,
egg him-
very
don't
cordially
egg him on.
ask you to vacate the premises so I can finish doing my show and fulfill my obligations here to
Tell you what,
Disruption
invite
Network.
you on my show. So I do invite you. Take the invite. See if you got the balls to come on my show.
Well, I have balls, unlike No Balls Z. Okay?
Now, you probably do know he has balls. I heard other people.
No, he doesn't. I looked for him. I couldn't find him.
I heard you found them.
All right, all right. I'm gonna try and rein in this show now.
Okay. So Last Action Hero, I believe, won, correct?
Yes, Last Action Hero. Stomper, if you wouldn't mind. We got some Last Action Hero, So then, all right. Now we got Toy Soldiers.
That movie was awesome.
It's amazing.
The all-star cast in that.
You know what's weird is I could have sworn when I was looking up like decades of movies, I could have sworn that this was an '80s movie. Don't ask me why.
Yeah, it kind of
Really?
came out like early '90s.
It was.
right?
I mean, it was like '93, so it wasn't like that early. But I don't know why I thought it was an '80s movie.
We gotta just look up the entire cast on this one.
Oh yeah, I mean, you had Wesley Crusher was in it, but you had like Sean Astin. It was just another
91,
one.
yeah.
Oh, was it 91?
Yeah,
Okay,
Will
maybe that's-
Wheaton, Louis Gossett Jr.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He was the dean, wasn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Sean Austin, Will Wheaton, Louis Gossett Jr., Keith Coogan.
Yeah, Keith Coogan,
Yeah.
huge in the '90s.
Yeah.
Keith Coogan was everywhere in the '90s.
Yeah, Louis Gossett was the dean.
Yeah, Keith Coogan was in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Yeah.
That movie was
Yeah.
great. But
Against the look what it's against.
is it better than The Last Boy Scout?
Absolutely
No,
not.
no, absolutely not.
Okay, but I mean, I enjoy Toy Soldiers. I like the way, it's like the mischievous kids. It's like they took over the
Yeah.
wrong school.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? The mischievous of all the most mischievous kids, ends up, thwarting all the plans so
Right.
that and it's like, and they don't like. It's not like they arm up and take over. It's like they throw just enough, wrenches
Right.
in the gears for the you know the adults to come in and swoop in and take care of it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of still almost a believable plot. Even
Oh,
you know,
100%.
you got one of the kids, the one kid that does try to take up arms dies.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like so it's I don't know. It's a good movie. But it's not better than
not better than
The Last Boy Scout, unfortunately. So then we have Showdown in Little Tokyo versus The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Oh, what a great movie.
Ooh.
We got to pause here.
Yeah.
We got to pause here, guys. The long, I feel
Long Kiss Goodnight
I feel
edges it out.
It
Goodnight
does, yeah.
it
I like
edges
The
out.
Long Kiss Goodnight.
Is-
Such a good movie.
is another underrated one.
I
Like,
agree.
a lot of people don't talk about it. It's like people, it's like a Sam Jack, like it's like Gina Davis doing like action, which like she never
Right.
really did, and it was like. It's a good movie. And she's really good at it.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
believing Like
And her memory
when
comes
she's,
back,
you
and
know,
everything
chopping
develops,
stuff
and
up,
people
and
are
all of
trying
a
to
sudden
come
she's
get
like,
her,
you know,
and
yeah,
she's being tortured.
Yeah.
You know?
and like her memory like comes back, and she tries to like ditch the life that she, and
Yeah.
it's like, but then she has to kind of find a way to like meld the two. It's a good movie. You got, and then you
Oh,
got
man,
everything with Sam
absolutely.
Jackson
It's fire.
just being in there. It's a good movie. I don't know. I like it a lot. Face Off versus Point Break.
Oh my god.
Point Break, come on.
Yeah, I have to say Point Break definitely.
It's still Point Break.
Yeah.
like not by much, but it's Point Break.
As far as this one goes, yeah, but Point Break. It has to be.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Gotta be that one.
Con Air versus Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. See what I mean? About how
So
it kinda goes, yeah.
like it
Like
takes
we've already
forever.
talked about
it
every
takes
movie,
forever on the
so-
outside, and then all of a sudden, boom, the rest of it's over. Lethal Weapon 4 versus Last Action Hero.
Lethal Weapon 4, it's gotta be.
I'm gonna have to go with that.
Okay. The Last Boy Scout versus The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Last Boy Scout.
I agree, yeah. I don't
Okay.
know. You agree? You're in agreement with that one? Or else like unanimous?
Well, see
Yeah.
what happens if Garrett if Ray has
no.
2 votes.
No.
A lot of times Garrett won't reveal his answer because he doesn't want to.
Yeah. No, it's The Last Boy Scout.
Okay. Yeah.
It is.
All right, so
It
we
is.
got our final 4. Who are our final 4?
All right. You know what? I'm going to do the right first. We got Lethal Weapon 4 versus The Last Boy Scout.
Last Boy Scout.
I'm gonna go Last Boy Scout on that.
Last Boy Scout. Yeah.
I feel compelled to agree.
Okay.
Just circle that one. Just circle the there you go.
Was it your first day on the job?
Listen, listen.
It's be reflected in your employee evaluation.
Then we got Point Break versus Die Hard with a Vengeance.
This is.
I'm going Point Break.
I'm going Die Hard.
Point Break.
Oh, come on!
I'm going Die Hard.
Point Break, man.
Die Hard.
It's just gotta be Point Break for me.
Always leave it up for Garrett.
You got Johnny Utah,
I hate you guys.
FBI agent goes undercover
Okay.
in
You
Southern
got John
California.
McClane.
Okay.
You know, and the way that it ends.
Because
Does it end with an exploding helicopter and somebody saying "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker"?
No, it ends with the bromance. Like he just lets his buddy go, and you know.
Where you going, Garrett?
I'm going Point Break.
Oh,
If it was like, hey, if you had to say Die Hard versus Point Break, it's Die Hard. You know what I mean? But it's
You can't let a sequel
And-
take over an original.
yeah.
so and our final matchup is
Point Break versus The Last Boy Scout. It's Point Break.
It's Point Break.
it's Point Break.
It's Point Break.
Point Break.
Such
All
a
right,
good
so
flick.
winner of 90s Action Part 1 is Point Break.
Good
Wow.
answer.
I mean, it had to be.
I'm gonna have to go and rewatch that again.
It's so
again.
good. I've seen
And
it.
again.
I've
And
seen it so many times. Like it's so good that there's they talk about it, and there's a big scene in Hot Fuzz with it.
Yeah.
Remember Hot Fuzz where he's like, wait, you've never seen Point Break? And he's like, no. And he's like, and then they watch it, and then like the point where like he doesn't shoot Patrick Swayze, he just fires into the air, and Nick Frost is just like acting like he's shooting his gun, and he's like, whoa, and it's like, because it's Point Break. It's so good. Everything about it's great. There's nothing wrong with the movie.
No.
There's not a single miscast. There's no missteps in the movie.
He brings an undercover FBI agent into the circle.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, just because he's like, hey, you're Johnny Utah.
Yeah. It's the scene where they make him rob the bank.
Yeah.
And then the two guys die. It's perfect, and it's one of the most perfect action movies that there is. Period.
It's iconic.
You
Yeah,
know, it really is.
100%.
It really is. I was so mad when I heard they were doing a remake. I got mad.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones where I got mad. I'm like, don't
You
do a
can't
remake.
cast that. Yeah, you're not going to cast
You
that.
know, you can't. It's just that's just going to be bad. You know?
Well, so I again like to apologize for all the interruptions.
Yeah,
today.
Travis, I'm sorry. You
Like,
didn't have to come in to see all that.
Yeah, I
That
walked
was-
into
I feel
something.
bad.
Yeah,
I feel bad. So
Yeah.
I promise if you come back, I promise that won't happen again.
We might have to change the locks again.
Change the locks again. I have to, But yeah. So then now we're not going to be doing
Wrestle.
Wrestle Fandom next week, but we're going to be doing it. We'll pick back up the following week because we'll be doing the review of the next Immortal show.
Correct.
I probably will have a more filled out card that we will mention next week as prior to that show that's next weekend.
But in honor of 316 Day, which next Wednesday when we go on, we are in honor of St. Patrick's Day. Next week's topic's going to be movies that involve heavy drinking.
Yep. So movies about getting smashed. It'll be fun.
Yeah, and the long-awaited return of the Golden Boy Casey.
KC.
Can't wait to meet him so
Yeah.
he can meet the actual person that's going to take his job.
Well, he's elevated
I
now.
don't really care about him.
All right.
Just relax. It's fine.
I
You
don't
guys will
really
get along
care.
great. Just relax.
Don't really care about him.
Okay.
Do not really care about him.
Well, guys,
Well, once you just meet him, you'll be fine.
shout out to our
Travis, thank you for
sponsors.
coming on, man.
Travis, thanks for coming on.
You're welcome.
Seasonal Sports,
Great to
Rockin'
be
Horse
here.
Tattoo.
Yeah.
Should we
And
put out like a disclaimer so like, Arnold and like all these guys don't. We didn't even have one Arnold movie on there. Did
yeah, we did Last Action Hero.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we did. Okay.
Yeah.
And
It's just a lesser known one.
And we have like
Arnold,
five.
Sly,
He was
they,
bigger
They
in
follow
the
the
80s.
podcast and
He
then
was
they
over-
come and get us.
Yeah, he was all over the 80s one.
Well, and we got like 5 of these 90 action movies list.
Yeah.
We could probably do a whole bracket of Arnold movies.
I looked through my book. There's 9 90s lists between the different categories.
Wow.
2 action, a sci-fi action, a sci-fi, fantasy,
comedy, which we did already.
3 comedies. We already did 1, and then I did one that it's like thriller, suspense, action movies like Clear and Present Danger.
That hasn't even got
And,
into the romantic movies.
And
Yeah,
I didn't
done
even
a
do I didn't even do rom-com. So like I could do 90s rom-com, and that'd probably be a solid 10.
And like, so
10
if
lists.
there anything you want
out
to
of
come
just
back
the
on,
90s.
just holler at us. And
Well, we know he doesn't want to do the other 90s action because that one's going to be a whole lot of it's like I can't put this movie against this movie, like
Right.
yeah, and I don't even I looked at it and I was like, I thought I split these up well, but apparently I didn't because the other
it's
one
impossible.
The other one is an impossible list.
it's
yeah.
we might have to get someone in here who's fully ready to yell at. We're all ready to yell and argue with each other. There's no way you're going to tell me that Broken Arrow is better than like we got to so it'll be intense.
Yeah, all right.
But